This might be one of the best demos I have ever played. And I'm not exaggerating. I admit, when I first saw the setting of Final Fantasy XVI, I wasn't too sold on the whole medieval fantasy setting. But after playing this demo, I'm sold. And if you're not sold on this game after playing the demo, I don't know if anything will sell you to the game, honestly. Final Fantasy games have always been very narrative driven, and FF16 doesn't seem to be an exception. Right away, you're thrown into this war sequence, and things already look incredible. Then, shortly after, you're thrown into a flashback, where you're more properly introduced to characters and the narrative of the story. Even though the demo is only like 2 hours or so, you start to get introduced to different characters and you begin to feel their dynamics and how they mesh with each other. You get introduced to the protagonist, Clive, who is a swordsman in training, and his frail brother Joshua, who has this inferiority complex towards him, even though he was chosen as heir. The demo is such a small snippet of the final game, but it does such a good job of setting up the narrative and making you already begin to care about these characters. You've got political drama, medieval fantasy, war, backstabbing. I mean, I feel like I just watched a new season of Game of Thrones or something. And the combat is really fluid and fast-paced. I'd compare it to something between Tales of Arise's combat and FF7 Remake's combat. Everything just meshes together so well, and one thing that I actually really liked that they added was this: during a cutscene, you can pause the game and select this thing called Active Time Lore. And it opens up this screen where you can see a bunch of different characters or even locations that you've been introduced to that might help you better understand the story. I thought it was a pretty nice addition. The one single gripe that I have would have to be the motion blur. Everyone turns off motion blur. Why do devs keep adding it? You can't turn off motion blur in the settings, but I hope it's just because it's a demo version and that you can do so in the final game. Fingers crossed. In the settings though, you can choose to prioritize visuals or frame rate. And the frame rate mode seems to lessen the motion blur a lot, and I just like having more frames in general, so I stuck with that setting. There were a couple times where I thought the demo was going to end, and I would have honestly been satisfied. But it keeps going, and it kept getting better. And when the demo finally ended, I was completely sold on the game. And not only that, after the demo ended, Square Enix gives you a second demo. It's a mode called the Iconic Challenge, which is essentially a second demo. And it has more content because it takes place much further in the story. And because of this, you have a bunch more skills and abilities to use, so you can really see how the combat will actually feel like in the full game. And it's amazing. I would have been sold on the first part of the demo alone, but Square Enix decided to spoil us with even more content. Final Fantasy fans are eating good. Well, enough of me gushing over this demo. I'm a big Final Fantasy fan, okay? I can't help myself. Anyway, have you played the demo yourself? Plan on getting the full game? Maybe plan on finally getting that PS5? Let me know in the comments. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Look forward to more videos very soon, and see you in the next video.